Hey guys, welcome back. I'm actually filming another day because it was getting too dark. So we're going through the second hardcover Haberdashery junk journal. And this one has the same construction as the other one. It's just different in the size and shape. And I will put all the description and measurements in the when I'll be posting it for sale. As I said, same construction, 2 signatures. On the back we have a collage with this beautiful engraving, part of an engraving. And this floral, I believe this one came from Sylviane as well. I just added a little applique here. Added this needle holder and another button card, mother of pearl, and we have this cabinet card, or rather carte de visite. And here's the receipt I added to this one, which is blue, and it's dated from 37, if I'm not mistaken. So this is a front cover. You have this trim from the box that I added both to the front and the back of the cover. And when you open this one up, again, same type of ephemera inside as the first one, but the layout is quite different. I still added some printables from a sample, Heather from Ruby and Pearl, and Cassie at Dust to Roses. So here we have a sample card. This one is authentic. And most of the papers used, and also ephemera, are authentic. I will mention it when it's a printable. So this is a vintage postcard. And then we have a little flap here with this is some sari trim. You can write some notes here. And then we have this little printable from Sample. And this beautiful printable is also from Heather at Ruby and Pearl. And I'm not going to unfold this, but you see it's printed onto this very crinkly typing paper and almost transparent. So it's held with a little clip here, wooden clip. Then we have a piece of a beautiful antique French fabric. This is a flap. You can decide to remove this pin here and use it, maybe glue it down or open it for journaling space. And here we have, this is a cutout from an engraving from sorry about that, an engraving from an antique magazine, and we have a little photograph and one of Cassie's beautiful calling card printable. So I did a little bit of collage here and there, and as for the first one, this was supposed to be a sample collector's book again. So on this one I added some lace trims here. We have a little bundle of goodies here and a little ticket. This is an antique photo postcard, which is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, this Victorian lady is beautiful. And we have little painting book page, and then a little journaling card that I made. So this is a piece of antique upholstery French fabric, and yeah, just a note and a little collage. So that goes in here. This is a printable from Sample, and I also put back this one with a pretty heavy paper, so you can add your button if you'd like to. The pages that I use here are from the vintage magazine La Femme Chez Elle. Here we have some bits and pieces. Actually, I'm not going to remove everything, but we have a beautiful lady and some cutouts that you can use to collage with. This is a dried flower, and we have this big piece of wallpaper that is textured. And actually, this is there's also here a writing section, so I added a few of these blank vintage sheets, and they're really nice to write on. So there's that. I just clipped everything together to create that section. And up. On this side, oh, we also had a little bundle of goodies, and here there's a printable from Sample. It's printed onto some linen textured paper. And there's an ephemera, an authentic sample textile, and then a little pouch, glassine bag with authentic vintage white buttons. I believe there are some mother of pearl buttons as well inside. Okay, I will just put that back later. Some vintage ledger, French ledger. And here actually there's also some ledger, and so is the next page. So it's like the ledger section. Inside here you have some collage piece, Haberdashery notion, and then an authentic business card. There's some writing on the back. And this is some bloating paper that I took out from a calendar, Le Magasin du Louvre, or Printemps, I'm not sure. Here we have another little bundle of goodies, including all these ladies' cutouts. This gorgeous piece of upholstery fabric. This is beautiful. The ledger here is blank, so you can write on it. And we have a printable from Sample, to which I added some fine lace. You can write on the back. This is also printable from Sample, and I just added this beautiful like silver thread trim. This is an antique receipt and a magazine. Well, actually, that was from a book, from a fashions book or something. Here we have a printable from Heather, and I also made this little journaling card here with some packing paper. And so there's just this, I attached this little printable from Sample, and I added this crochet lace, and then you can journal. This is just a very simple collage to which you can add to and journal on the back. Onto this side we have this I just glued the side of this little paper, and then there's this a vintage prayer card. On the back you can see there are some beautiful monograms that comes from an antique magazine page, and then just some collages and writing space. Here I made a little pocket out of book pages. I followed a tutorial from Heather at Ruby and Pearl, and I just added a few things, like some raw supplies, if you will, for you to kind of create with, and you know. And then on this side there are some cutouts and journaling cards, sorry. And so this is a printable from Sample, a little cutout from the Femina magazine. This is a handmade journaling card. We have some vintage wallpaper here and some labels, sorry. And then another handmade journaling card. This is a bit of seam binding. And this is a printable from Sample. I love this one. And you can distress it or, write on the back. Here, it's just a little, again, not going to take these things out actually, but there's illustration cutout, a little envelope, vintage envelope, to which I tucked this beautiful printable from Cassie. This is a calling card. And then we have a piece of this beautiful measuring tape, and the other side of this writing section, which is blank, and you can obviously write or do some collages. We have here, this is some vintage French fabric, a printable from Sample, a little antique French note. And then on this side, again, I'm not going to remove everything, but there's a vintage playing card, some vintage pattern paper for your collages, and a bit more of these lace samples. And here we have a little, I just pinned a few advertisement that I cut out from a vintage magazine called Mode et Travaux, and here's also a book page from this magazine, and it's dated from 32. This is the end of the first signature and start of the second. You can add your title, you can write here. I just clipped this little note, and we have a little pouch like in the first one, and I just added a few goodies and some ephemera printables that were remaining from Sample's kit. And so we have also this antique postcard, and this is a flower from my garden, I believe, and I just added this adhesive tape to stuck it down to the printable. So there's that. Here on this side we have a little envelope that acts as a pocket, and I just added some, these are samples, illustration, and this is a vintage envelope that was folded like this, and I thought it was kind of nice. Some monograms to collage with, and another beautiful calling card from Cassie's kit. This is an antique advertisement that came from Calendar des Grands Magasins du Louvre, and I thought it was so pretty with the flower, and I just decided to make it as a little journaling card. And we have another writing section, and this one is, I added some thicker paper, so it's nice to have a variety of papers to write on and collage. Authentic ephemera, some labels to, label your samples, for example. This was another piece of the box, and I didn't want to throw that away, so I just attached it here. And there are some ephemera that are related to fabrics and haberdashery. This is a beautiful woman. This one is antique, a postcard. Here I clipped a few pages that came from Vintage Women's Magazine. This is a page, I'm not going to remove it, but this is a page from the Calendar Les Grands Magasins du Louvre again. We have a vintage sewing notion, some lace trim, this came from Samples digital kit. And on this side we have, this is a little sample, illustration sample card that I made for you to take inspiration from. And then we have this beautiful lady, and actually it's a page from La Femme Chez Elle, and I just loved this lady. I thought she was so pretty. So book page, a little bit of collage. This comes from La Broderie Lyonnaise. It's beautiful patterns. A page from this antique magazine, Le Journal des Demoiselles. And then here we have, this is from another antique journal magazine, and I don't remember the name now, but it has those beautiful engravings. Here I used one of Samples. Oh, actually, this is one of mine, sorry. And I just added this beautiful trim here and added this tissue paper to make it more, yeah, precious. I don't know, to protect it, I guess. This is a writing paper. And we have another section with some gray kind of textured paper. Again, you can write on this and use different pens. The middle is, yeah, it's a collection of samples. So here we have an illustration in this tuck spot. And the other side of this section, a very fine lace paper doily. Here, made a tuck spot out of this vintage, it was, you know, I think it was a needle case, a holder, I mean, and I just turned it because I didn't like the colors of the front and made it a little tuck spot. This is one of my printables, and an antique postcard. She seems to embroider, so I thought it was nice to add this. And here I added a few of these vintage pins, as I showed you in the first part of the video. I added 3 here so you can actually remove them and use it for your projects. Sorry. Bit of collaging. These pieces are antique. This is a beautiful piece from an eyelet. It was actually a shirt, and a very old shirt, and this is completely removable, so you can craft with this. This is a divider. There's one as well in this book. There's Samples printable here that I also backed with this negative, and here is one of Cassie's business card. I added a piece of this beautiful wallpaper in this journal, and we have a few other goodies here. This is an authentic vintage pink ephemera, and this is a handmade journaling card. A piece of for your collages, and this is a little notepad. It's very simple, but I think it's always useful in journals to add these. The other part of this writing section, and coming to the end, we have this handmade envelope made out of a vintage sewing magazine, and I just tucked this printable from Sample. This is a journaling card, and in here we have a few collage bits here, and I just added this pattern paper because I thought it's really nice to collage with this blue tissue paper. I just added these little crochet thing with a pin so you can remove it easily. And that's for this journal. I really hope you enjoyed the flip through of both of the journals. As mentioned, I'm going to have them for sale this weekend for sure. I will put the information down in the description box once I decided whether these will be onto my Etsy shop or on during my IG weekend sale. But I'll let you know in any case. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great weekend, and see you for the flip through of the two others. Bye bye.